one of the most intimate times in my life, or one of the most intimate things that's in my life, and that's dealing with the loss of a loved one. Um, what I do not do, I do not apologize for what I feel, how I feel. I don't apologize for um, the time that I take to give to it, because for me it's important, because my loved one was very important in my life. So I don't make apologies for it. And I would say to anybody to do the same thing. Don't let people make you feel guilty. Don't make them make you feel like you're doing too much, or it's too much, or it's too long. It's never too long, because no matter when somebody loses someone, it's always too soon. No matter how long they've been in the earth, it's always too soon. It's always too early. It's never time. It's never time. There's somebody that's going to be missed. They have family. They have loved ones, and it's not an easy thing. It's not an easy thing, and it's challenging. Your heart gets stronger, and you may not shed tears as easily or as quickly, but this is not the time to apologize to anybody. Don't give them an explanation if you don't feel like it. And there's no length of time. There's no cutoff time. My husband has been deceased for 8 years. It has been 8 years, and it still has not been long enough for me not to think about him and not to think about him. He was such a great pillar in my life, and he's going to always be important. We have great memories. So what I do is to make it somewhat of a doable for me. What I do is I make sure I bring him his flowers. I make sure I give him the conversation, and it's more so for me. It really is. It's for me. It's for me to get through. So I give him the conversation. I talk. I express some things. I do the same thing when I'm at home. So I take the time to spend with him. I bring him flowers. I bring him something that he didn't necessarily care for in the earth. But since he's transitioned, the one thing that I can do is I can bring flowers. And I do that. And I come, and sometimes my day after I leave becomes very, very difficult, and it's hard for the rest of the day. But one thing I know is that this for me is very necessary. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my time, and I'm going to spend with him, and then I'm going to share some other things about what we talked about today. So this is one of the ways that I do what I do. This is one of the ways that I do to get through. This is what I do. One of the things that I do to make sure that I can stay as sane as possible without a man who was such a great inspiration and such a pillar in my life. It's important to continue to do that. I'm not going to allow his memory in me doesn't die. It stays with me. So then I come and I spend that time that I need where I placed him last. Okay, that's what I do for me. And I don't make any apologies for it. So after I do that and spend the time, then I can come and close this up just a little bit better and a little bit smoother for us all. So here we are, y'all. We spending time with my husband. I'm giving him different flowers. I always bring him flowers when I come. And here he is, the man, the one who made a great impact in my life. He did. And as much as I possibly can, and as often as I can, I make sure that I come and I'm with him
and I spend the time that I need to spend with them. And as I said, that really has a lot to do with me and where I am in my life and the things that I need. It actually a lot of times gives me strength. And even if I cry, it gives me strength. It gives me strength. It does. It does. So I'm appreciative for his life and our life together. We 14 years together, and I'm very appreciative for it. I don't take life for granted, and the memory and the great memories that he and I have, I don't take those for granted either.
All right. So, hey, today it was a good day. It was great time together. And I know it might sound strange and it may sound funny the way that I'm actually saying it, because I understand. And I know that my husband has transitioned. I do. And even with the conversation that I'm having today and the conversation that I had, nothing is past tense. It's just current, as if he is standing before me today. And in my mind, I can see him, I can picture him, I can hear his voice, and I can hear his laughter. And again, I'm so appreciative of the time. I'm appreciative of the years that we have together. 14 years I don't take for granted. I do not take it for granted. And every day that I get up and every opportunity that I have, it is not only to make those who are in my life currently and who are still here and who have not transitioned, to make them proud and to make them just happy to have me in their life. It is the same thing. His memory, me supporting the things that he would say to me, that encouraged me and motivated me. I still carry those things today. So why not? Why not? Because I'm going to see him again one day. I'm going to transition too. I understand that. But it is, how do I get through while I'm still here in his absence? And that's what's important. How do you get through with the experience that you're going through while you're still here and they have transitioned? Do what you need to do. Do what you need to do. Don't have a dependency, but take the time to do what you need to do. Be willing to embrace certain truths in your life. Be willing to accept and embrace certain realities of it. Okay? Be honest. Don't be in denial. But when you feel like crying, cry. When you feel like screaming, scream. When you feel like having the day to yourself, take it. Take it. It's worth it. It's worth taking it. Experience that. Do what you have to do to process it. But find and make sure that you're doing so in a way that is healthy for your growth, your life, your living, and something that's not going to cause you any hurt or any harm. I know you're hurting. I know your heart is heavy. As a matter of fact, it's supposed to be. It doesn't make sense for us to think, or for anybody else to think, that our hearts are not heavy. And only for me and my personal experience, because it has been 8 years, that's been long enough. For who? Maybe your loss was not like my loss. Maybe you didn't feel what it is that I feel. Maybe the person that you lost didn't have the same impact. Whatever the reason, you have to respect the fact that we grieve, we mourn, and we feel differently. And there is no cutoff time. There is never a cutoff time for it at all. That's a myth. It is a myth. I can go forward every day. I can move forward with my life. But in the beginning of this thing, it was more difficult It was very difficult. It was very hard. I cried every day, multiple times a day, for I don't know how long. But here I am today. Here I am. And I'm still growing, and I'm still experiencing this loss. It does not cut off. It does not cut off. There is no cut off time. So you guys, this is what I do. And make sure that you do what it is that you need to do to make sure you have this healthy growth. And this experience does not take you in a dark place. Do that for yourself. But make sure you do what it is that you need to do and what's necessary for yourself. Alright? Y'all keep that in mind. And keep your head up. Stay lifted.